one of the biggest changes we're going to make, even though everyone seems to really love it for some reason. Greetings, adventurer, Kristen,
and Sam
here. Hope you've been well since our last exchange about our new RV and the little tour we gave you of it in its original condition. This time we're going to be talking about all the changes we're planning to make to the RV to get it ready for our next adventure when we live in it full time.
Okay, so let's start with the exterior. First, we need to fix any damages that are on the outside. That includes any cracks, broken things, rust, and seals. On the roof, we want to reseal it and make sure there are no leaks and replace the top vent with a max air fan. We also want to add solar to this rig, so we are going to have to mount solar panels to the top. The seals on the front doors aren't the greatest, and the locks and windows mechanisms are old. So we're thinking about completely replacing the doors with ones that are used on newer models that have automatic locks and windows. And of course, that will fix our seal problem as well. But we're planning on keeping an eye on the junkyard and see if any vans in good condition show up that we can take those doors from. We would also like to add more storage to the outside, and my dad has a friend that could add some storage boxes to the bumper part. We're going to remove any stickers left over from the old owners and fix any missing decals that are from the original build. The way the RV is built, it's a little bit low to the ground, and the black tank got cracked by one of the previous owners when it slammed to the floor. So we plan to lift it 2 inches in the front and 2.5 inches on the back. That way it'll clear bumps and crevices on the road more easily. The rig also needs new tires because these ones are very old and cracking. We want to get all-terrain tires to feel safer and more confident under any conditions, rain or shine. The front emblem is missing, so we have a really cool concept project that we're planning to fix that with.
Stay tuned for that.
And lastly, we're going to rescreen any of the windows and fix the back door screen to make sure we don't have to worry about any bugs getting in when we have the windows open. If we have the budget, we'd like to repaint it to somewhat original colors and maybe change the stripes to something that fits our aesthetic.
Alright, let's talk about motor issues. Since we don't have a lot of motor work experience and it's an old rig, we don't want to have any problems when we finally leave. We're leaving most of that work and checks to Sam's dad since he works on a lot of vintage cars all the time and has lots of friends that do as well. We want to make sure that we can utilize his knowledge before we go off on our own. And we'd like to fix the front cab AC since it doesn't work, and we know that because the hoses aren't connected to anything inside the engine. And since we're not sure we can use the AC in the back while we're driving, it would be nice to have something on while we're on the road.
Once all of that is good to go, we're onto appliances. Like we said earlier, we want to add solar to this build and be able to run it completely off-grid. So we're going to have to get batteries, an inverter, and rewire all of the electronics. We need to clean up our stove and oven and overhead range to make sure the kitchen is ready to be cooked in. We want to replace the kitchen faucet with something more modern and extendable, so we can push the faucet out the window and be able to wash things outside. We need to get rid of the fridge and replace it with something that can run off solar. And we need to make sure the bathroom is up to shape and ready, so we're going to replace the shower head, add a fan for ventilation, reseal the walls, and add a light into the bathroom. In the tour video, we said we didn't know what that hole was for, and I found another mobile traveler for sale and found out it's for a light. And we need to fix the curtain rod and add a shower curtain.
Next, we're on to the cab. One of the first things we're going to do is add insulation to the floor and motor cover to add some sound dampening and temperature control in that area. We're going to replace the front seats to more comfortable ones and maybe add swivels for more seating space when camping. We need to make blackout insulated window covers for the front and side windows. We're going to add a backup camera that has a dash cam built into it. We need to build a better cup holder. We need to fix the crack in the overhead plastic and take out the rest of the carpet that's up there. And we're either going to replace the side speakers on the doors or add covers to them. And lastly, we need to clean up or replace the leather on the walls.
Next is the upper bunk. We need to either clean up or probably replace the leather on the walls so that it matches the cab. We also need to add supports and cover them up somehow so they're not exposed. We need a better mattress, and in order to prevent some mold, we need something for airflow underneath. We need to add outlets or USB chargers for our phones. We're thinking of adding a thin sheet of plywood under the mattress for some stability, and find out if these small side windows open and fix them.
And lastly, and the thing that's going to make the most difference in the build, is the living area. We're going to address any cracks and broken wood pieces and fix them. We need to make blackout insulated window covers for all of the windows and find some way to mount them on the walls. We need to replace all the light fixtures with LED dimmable ones that do better on battery consumption. We need to remove all the curtain hiders and rods, replace parts of the ceiling that are warped, fix any broken window trim, remove the wallpaper and paint the walls and cabinets. And we're thinking about taking taking out the back bathroom sink since we're probably not going to use it with another sink that's like 2 feet away from it. And we're going to add storage on top of the counter with maybe a flip up lid. We're thinking of changing all the fronts of the doors and drawers to make them look more modern and replace all the handles. All the cabinet rolling doors are nice and aesthetic looking, but we're probably going to replace them because they don't roll up the nicest and they block the top area, which might make it hard to put things in and out of them. We're thinking about adding cabinet doors to all of them that open up with struts. The spice rack is going to go and be replaced with hanging storage for spices, cooking utensils, and a magnetic knife rack. We're probably going to upgrade the sound system with the help of my dad, who is an audio engineer, so these old speakers are gonna go. The gas leak detector, which is really big and bulky, will probably be replaced with something smaller, and we can add more storage in its place. We need to install some type of table system that we can eat and work at. And lastly, one of the biggest changes we're going to make is taking out this coffee nook. Even though everyone seems to really love it for some reason, we just don't think it's very useful for us, and only one person can sit at it, so it's not really that helpful. We plan to replace it with a nice storage cabinet. When we add solar to the RV, we're probably going to have all of our electrical system in that area. And we're probably going to be using one of those big blue jugs as a drinkable water source, and we're thinking about putting it in that cabinet as well with a spout on the top of the counter. We have this idea of cutting a hole in the RV and making a compartment door from the outside that you can easily access the jug to take in and out to refill. And of course, we're going to be adding little things here and there to make the most out of the space and just make the RV feel more like home.
As you can tell, there's a lot of things that we need to get done before we move into this thing full time. I know we promised you last time that we would tell you the story of how we got this RV, but we'll have to save it for next time. I hope you look forward to it. Until next adventure!